Morning, 7th grade. Today what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to write an equation rule from a table. And today's date is the 5th. Sorry about that. So writing an equation linear. Sorry about that. From a table. And I'm going to be on page 60. Okay, you can pause that if you're a little bit slow. Alrighty. Well, I don't have anybody to do the lesson with me today, so it's not going to be as exciting. So page 59 and 60. We're going to go ahead and just start on the left side. Okay? And I call this rule, I call it the magic B. And there's a reason. There's a few steps. So if you ever hear me say, what is the magic B? Okay, I'm talking about from a table, we're writing that rule. So remember that you are also given this. The y-intercept formula is y is equal to, and there's a reason that I am setting off that m, x plus b. Now remember that this b can be subtraction too. Okay? And that means that, in other words, where it crosses the y-axis below the origin. Okay? Now remember that m is your change in y divided by change in x. Okay, so let's get a table going. Let's pretend, let's do it right here. You have your x and your y, and I'm going to go ahead and put -2, -1, 2, 3. Already you're probably tuning out because you're like, oh no, negative numbers. So the first step, we need to find the constant rate of change. So step 1, and I call it the CROC, constant, sorry about that, constant rate of change. Okay, by doing that, and remember, because this is not proportional, it does not go through the origin. So I need to find the change in y and the change in x, because I can't divide. So in other words, if it were proportional, -1 divided by -2 would be 1/2. 3 divided by 2 is not the same thing. And so if it is a rule, I now need to find the change. And what that means is you take the y, you find the change between the two. So 3 minus a -1. Now remember that when you subtract a negative, you are adding the opposite. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Oh, that just took completely, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, then 5 minus 3 is 2. Looks like we skipped a point here in the table that I grabbed. Sorry about that. So remember this one, 2 minus a -2. I don't have enough room here. You're adding the opposite, which means that you're going to have 4. Okay, 4 minus 2 is 2. So what this means is that your change in y divided by change in x, your m is going to be either 4 divided by the change in x for that same point, the same points on that linear equation. 4 divided by 4, or you can use 2 divided by 2, and guess what? Those are the same values. They all equal 1. Okay? Then, step 2, oops, sorry. You are going to substitute any ordered pair. Oops, sorry. Any ordered pair into y equals mx plus b. okay? So in other words, now I'm going to use, we'll start over here. Y equals mx. My pen just went flying. There's a lot going on. Sorry, guys. All right, so I need to substitute what I do know. I know what my m is, but I need to pick an ordered pair. And by doing that, I'm just going to pick, I like to work with positive numbers. So I pick any, I can use this pair, I can use this pair, it does not matter, okay? So my y is 3, my m is 1, and my x at that point of 3 is 2 plus b. Now I have an equation, okay, and I'm going to solve for b. So 3 equals 1 times 2 is 2 plus b. How do I isolate my variable? That's right, I'm going to subtract 2, but if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. And I am left with b is equal to 3 minus 2 is 1, a positive 1. Okay? Step 3, I'm going to rewrite my equation. All right? So that means that y, I always have a y, is equal to my slope is 1, my x, remember you're always having a y and an x in your final equation, and my b was plus 1. Okay? That is the rule. So what that means is that every y is x plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay? All right, let's do a couple of examples. You can pause this if you want to kind of rethink that. Go back over those notes. But I'm going to give you a couple of, actually we'll do the following together. Okay? I will also on Schoology put a picture of some tables that I want you to do. I'm only going to put about 3 or 4. Okay? All right, so let's look at this one. X, Y. Oops, sorry. Now I'm going to use some different numbers. So I have 1, 15, 3, 35, and 5 and 55. Bigger numbers, huh? So remember my first step is to find the constant rate of change. So step 1, I need to go off and find my change in y and my change in x. So 35 minus 15 is going to give me 20. 55 minus 35 is 20. And don't be startled. Sometimes you will have the same change. Sometimes you won't because there might be a skip in an ordered pair. Okay? 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. So to find the crock, it is your change in y divided by your change in x, which means 20 divided by 2 equals 10. Okay. Now step 2, I need to substitute an ordered pair. So I'm going to pick small numbers. Okay. So, because remember my formula is y equals mx plus v. So y is 15 equals my slope, or my constant rate of change, sorry, is 10. And my x when y is 15 is 1 plus b. This is hence the magic b. So all I'm doing now is solving the equation, 10 plus b. To undo that addition, yeah, that's right, I'm going to subtract because I want to move that 10 to the other side so I can isolate my variable. That created a 0 pair. And now I know that my b is equal to 15 minus 10 is 5. And we know that that's a positive value. And now step 3, I'm going to rewrite, which is y. I always have a y. I found my slope, 10. I always have an x, and I found my b. So in other words, we're writing a rule that gives us each ordered pairs, and a rule that could tell us even if x were 100 and I wouldn't have to do and add 20 each time, or add 10, sorry. So it's really, really important to know these steps because you're going to see that again on Friday, okay? What I want to do is give you one more table. I want you to do it independently. So go ahead and pause the video. My video is going to keep on going. I challenge you to try your best and to see if you can do it by yourself. Okay? So pause it. I'm going to keep on going though. All right, so welcome back. Remember that we needed to find, step 1 was find the CROC, which is your change in y divided by change in x. So I'm going to go over. This is my change. 3 minus 2, 1. 4 minus 3, 1. 2 minus 0, 2. And I put those arrows because that's the direction that I'm subtracting. 4 minus 2, 2. So if you notice, it's human nature to put the larger number on top so I can get a whole number. Be careful of that because remember your y is always going to be on top. So 1 divided by 2. So yes, we do have a constant rate of change that is a rational number, which is a fraction. So you have to be careful with this. So step 2, I'm going to pick any ordered pair. And I'm actually going to pick, they're all multiples of 2, so I'm not going to get any decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one right here because I want to use that first one in just a second. So remember that you're going to substitute it back into the formula y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to substitute 3. My slope is half, 2 plus b, and that's right. Now I just solve. Half of 2, that's right, is 1, plus b. Subtract my 1 from both sides, create a 0 pair. b is isolated. Oh, sorry. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now I have my b, and I have my constant rate of change. I can write my function. So 3, remember it always has a y, equals, my constant rate of change is 1/2. I always have my x in there. That does not mean multiplication. And I found my b, which is a positive 2. There is my rule. I know it crosses the y-axis at 2. And my slope, for every 2 changes in x, my y changes 1. All right. This is also going to be on YouTube. I'm going to put on Schoology a picture of some tables, and I want you to do 6 of them on your own.